Shalom, Apostle Tahar coming back at you with the truth, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rakakwadash. And I'm going to entitle this video, Esau knows that they will be encountered or confronted by the Lord and the angels. And this is the image that you see on the screen is from Secure Team 10, put up a couple of days ago. And this is from, I don't know when this was put up. I don't know if it was recently. It has to be recent because this has been in the news. There's so many people that have witnessed these unidentifiable flying objects, as they call it, UFOs. And basically, the Navy, the government, the military, whatever you, the Air Force, whatever you want to call them. Anyway, the name of the video that Secure Team 10 put up is Navy scrambling UFO activity from our oceans growing each day. So people are seeing UFO sightings, things that they can't explain, what they call UFOs. They have everybody in their mind. Everybody has a camera now. You know, your smartphone is a camera. So it's not like you see something in the sky and you say, "Where's the camera?" Oh, I got to go to my car. You have your smartphone. All you got to do is put your smartphone is on for your makes calls. All you got to do is go to the app, to videotape, and point at the object and shoot. So now they can't deny. They have to explain what these images are. But anyway, I'm gonna let you. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm going with the spirit. But this subject's been in the news for the last couple of days. So anyway, I'm gonna let you hear what the individual said. This is starting at like 5 minutes in of a 10-minute long video. And this is from Fox News, which I gave you the still. You know, you're just going to hear their voice because you know how they get with a copyright and all that. But here we go. Let's see what happens.
There are three hypotheses that people have put forward, and none of them are very comfortable. One is that one of our adversaries has leapfrogged on this. Yeah, this is tough terrain. There are three hypotheses that people have put forward, and none of them are very comfortable. One is that one of our adversaries has leapfrogged us technologically, China or Russia. Putin has been making some extraordinary claims about Russian technology. Another theory is that these are some test aircraft of the U.S. I think we can discard that now with the Navy itself acknowledging these are not American. And the third popular theory, of course, is that these may be from some civilization elsewhere beyond our solar system. And none of these theories are very comfortable to contemplate, but we have to look at facts and derive theories from facts, not start with theories and disrule or rule out facts.
Okay, good. Anyway, so he said there's three theories about these UFO sightings from so many hundreds of thousands of people that take video tape. They'll use their smartphone, they use their video cameras, whatever, and pretty much a lot of them, they present this to the authorities. So the authorities really never have a real answer. So what this individual said, this Edomite said that he said that there's they broke it down into three. You know what? Let me go back to that. I want to let you hear that part one more time.
So what do they think that is? What's the going theory on this?
Yeah, this is tough terrain. There are three hypotheses that people have put forward, and none of them are very comfortable. One is that
basically three theories. Either it's Russian and China, a new technology. And what, I'm sorry, let me go back a little bit more, because he said how fast that these things go.
I was just reading this morning some of these sightings, again, by military pilots who know the difference, estimate that these are objects moving at 15,000 miles per hour, for example. I mean, that's so much faster.
Did you hear that? That they're estimated at these objects moving at 15,000 miles per hour. Now, Esau doesn't have that technology. Well, they admit it, that they don't have the technology, but they think it might be the Russians and the Chinese with their technology. I don't see that happening either. You're talking about 15,000 miles an hour? Then they said it could be something, the second theory, where it's the U.S. that has this technology, but they admit they don't have the technology. Then he says the third thing is from a civilization outside of their, I believe he said, solar system. Well, we know what these are. And Esau knows exactly what these, what they call UFOs are. They know that they're the angels. They try to say that they're aliens, they're grays, they're from another planet. No, they're from another, how can I say, not planet, because they can materialize out of thin air. So they're not coming from a planet. They're coming from the heaven of heavens. So you can understand. And they watch us, and they know that we teach that we teach about the so-called UFOs, that they're the angels, the Lord and the angels, and that's the vehicle that they use. I mean, they can come anywhere they want to come. They can just materialize on the planet, or they can come in ships. When you go to the book of Ezekiel, the first chapter, it describes in great detail what Ezekiel saw, and he described a ship, a spaceship. Like I said, they watch all our videos. They check out what we're saying. In the back of their minds, they know that we're the Israelites. They know that they know the history. Esau, it says in Ezekiel 28, there's nothing that they can hide from thee, thou art wiser than Daniel. And what that means is they check out everything. They know the past history. They know about the Medes, the Persians, the Persian and Mede Empire, excuse me. They know about the Babylonian Empire rulership. They know about ancient Egypt. Why do you think they have museums? There was a museum that they put up last year, actually a year and a half or so, called the Museum of the Bible. Now, why would Esau or the elite Edomites put up, erect that museum, build that museum? Because they're trying to go back to the Bible, and they're trying to really figure out whether the Bible is true or not. You know, with us being out there constantly teaching, doing videos, they said, look, we got to really go back into this, man. And they'll say, you know, on one side of their mouth that you know, we're bugged out, we don't know what we're talking about, but then on, you know, behind closed doors, they're studying everything. That's how Esau operates, man. That's how this devil operates. So now they have new rules as to how they deal with unidentified objects, as they say. one thing that they know is that they're going to be attacked. They know about the end of the world. They know that there's going to be a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels, and the dragon represents the beast system and their military. I mean, there's several scriptures on that. We know all these scriptures by heart. You have Zechariah 5 verse 1, Revelation 10 verse 1, 2 Kings 2 verse 9 to 12 on down, Zechariah 9 verse 12, Isaiah 66 verse 15, Isaiah 31 verse 5, 2 Thessalonians 1 verses 6 to 11 on down, Daniel 7 and 9. Daniel 7 and 9 is one of my favorites because it says when the Lord comes down, He's gonna. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go to that right quick. But we know these scriptures by heart. Let me briefly go to Daniel 7. Daniel 7 and verse 9. I'll start at 7. Daniel 7 verse 7. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible. That's the Roman Empire and also NATO and the EU, because there was two parts of the Roman Empire. The first beast was wounded. That was the Roman Empire, the downfall of the Roman Empire when Jake took over the Roman Empire, and it came back into power, and it's getting ready to go down again. And strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, and it devoured, breaking pieces, and stamped the residue of the feet of it, and it was diverse, different from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came among them another little horn, before whom. Now, when you read that in Daniel 8, that's talking about Antiochus Epiphanes, but this little horn is talking about America, because America started as a small colony of 13 nations. That these 13 states went west, and this at one time America became the greatest country military wise, and it's called the richest nation in the world, or one of the richest nations in the world. So America is noticed. This is the second part of the fourth beast, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up. When you go into the history, the 13 colonies had what's called a Revolutionary War against Great Britain. Then you had the French-American War and the Spanish-American War. So you can go into that whole history, and behold, in his horn were eyes that like the eyes of men, and a mouth speaking great things. Because they said that they were going to go up into outer space, that they were going to do this, that they were going to do that. There's so many things. Oh, the first flying machine or plane was built up in a Kitty Hawk with the Wright brothers, and the whole world flies now based upon what these two men did. You know, I spoke about the rockets, or the Apollo flights, and the shuttle flights going up into the heavens. You know, the whole world saw that, so they spoke great things. They had ideas to do this. The first car came on the scene with Henry Ford, the motor car. So a lot of things came out of America, and a mouth speaking great things. And behold, And I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit. So we're at the ending of Esau's power, seat of power. When we talk about the beast being wounded and coming back to life again, pursuant to Revelation 13 chapter, you can read that. It says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool, and his throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. So that's describing a ship. If you go to Ezekiel, the first chapter, it goes into full detail. So that's how the Lord's going to come back. You have other scriptures. You have, I mentioned Daniel 7 verse 9, Psalms 104, 3 and 4, Psalm 68 verses 13, jump down to 17, 2 Kings 6 verse 17, Ezekiel 1 verses 40 down. Really, you can 4 on down. You can read the whole chapter. Psalms 91 verse 3. That's a beautiful chapter right there, because it describes the fact that we're going to be beamed up, and the missiles are going to come simultaneously, and we're going to look down and see the destruction. So we're going to be able to see that destruction. As a matter of fact, let me go to that. Psalms 91. And the scripture said in Romans, comfort one another with these words. See, any video that I put together, any video that any of the apostles put together, any video that the elders are up and coming, the elders, the brothers that came in 10, 11, 12 years ago, we all know these scriptures. We all know. You might find another precept. You might do a word search and find another precept, but we have the whole story. We have the whole book. You know, from this time until the destruction come and the Lord come back, a handful of things are going to take place. The FEMA camps, the concentration camps, the great chipping, the mark of the beast, and then the destruction of Esau. So we're right at the door. Let's start at the 4th verse. Psalm 91 verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shall thou trust. Now when you go to Psalms 68 verse 13 to 17, it says that the feathers as gold. You got to actually read it. Silver and gold. The wings and the feathers as silver and gold. So these ships are going to be the color of gold and silver. He shall, 4th verse, he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. The arrow is talking about the ICBM missiles, and it says it's going to fly by day, and the sky is going to be darkened from those missiles in the atmosphere. Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. Noonday is high noon. That's the highest point of the day, and that's talking about Esau's high point. It says 1,000 shall fall at thy side and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Why? Because we're going to be in the ships looking down at the destruction. You know, one brother said, good brother, he said, he's out here in New York about 2 months ago. He said that he had a dream that the ships had a glass bottom, and all you had to do was look down. So we're going to actually see you know, like you're on a highway and there's an accident and you got to everybody slows down. Everybody slows down to see how bad the accident was. So, you know, when we in those ships, the earth is going to quake to and fro like a drunkard. You know, you're going to see fire and light, and you're going to be affrighted. It tells you that in Revelation 11 chapter. But we're going to look down. We're going to look down at this destruction. It says, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, which are you so-called white people. Now you're going to have Jake. They're going to be destroyed too, because they're going to die the same death as the wicked. It says, 9th verse, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation, meaning we're into this book. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee. What did the Lord say in Matthew 24? Matter of fact, let me go to it. Matthew 24. This is Matthew 24, verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And we just read that in Daniel, the 7th chapter. The same event. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven. Yes, he's going to crack those clouds with power and great glory. It says in Isaiah, the 47th chapter, he shall meet thee, but he shall not meet thee as a man. He's coming as an angelic force. And he shall send his angels with a great... So the angels are going to play a crucial part, an important part in the deliverance of Israel, because we're going to be delivered into these ships. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet. And that's the last trumpet, the 7th trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect, not all Israel. So our job is not to go to all Israel. Our job is to push this word out. Right now, we're the door is closing. The Most High is getting ready to, make these prophecies actually come to pass. And the ones that it says, hold that thou hast. Matter of fact, let me go to that. I want to read it. I want to read it correctly. Revelation. It's in a couple of places, but Revelation, I believe that's 3. Right, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. And guys have fallen off because they got offended. You know, you had a big thing take place a couple of months ago with the IUIC. A bunch of people left, women and a lot of men, and they left with their families. But they lost their crown because they basically became disenchanted by this truth. And they basically saying, well, I'm not an Israelite anymore. Or they might know that they're Israelite, but they're not out there pushing. You know, if somebody treated you bad and you had to leave, you go on your way and you keep teaching, man. All right. When we got kicked out of the house of David, what did? We kept teaching. We didn't say, well, I left because these guys offended me and I know I'm no longer Israelite. Well, you're a damn fucking fool. You a goddamn fool. let's go back to yeah, I'm not waiting for High Priest Ariar and showing him to wake up to give me orders. I'm doing my thing, man, in the name and the power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Matthew 24, verse 31, and he shall send his angel with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other, from one end of the earth to the other. It says, going back to Psalm 91, verse 10, there shall no evil before thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee. We just read that in Matthew 24, to keep thee in all thy ways. Like these guys in the Kemetic community and Islam and the Moors and Baptist, Methodist, they don't have any answers, man. They're just teaching what they're teaching, what they know. That's all they're doing. They're teaching, they're having debates, they're having gatherings, but there's no conclusion, or there's no ending to their story. There's no kingdom. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. See, we're teaching that the Most High deliver us and set up us in the kingdom. These guys are not thinking about that. They're not teaching about that. They don't deal with prophecy. And the reason why they can't see it, because the Most High closed their eyes. So why even talk? Why even waste time with him? Why even waste time with him? It says, Psalms 91, verse 11, for he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands. And that's parabolic talk, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and the adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. And you know what that's talking about? That's talking about the white Edomites and your enemies. Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. And this bullshit about, well, we don't know the Lord's name, so we'll just call him Christ, or we'll call him this. No, you're supposed to know the Most High's name. The Most High said he would do nothing unless he revealed his secrets unto his servants and prophets. So why would the Most High say, praise my name, but then turn around and not give you his name? What kind of sense does that make? His name is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. '15 verse, he shall call upon me and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. And that's why we're doing this work. We're doing this work to get a check at the end of the job. That's why this thing is called the work. Like I said, there's so many scriptures you can go to, and the Bible is a beautiful thing. The scriptures is a beautiful thing because it's a magical, mystical book of history, laws, statutes, commandments, prophecy. And even Esau acknowledges the scriptures. And when the president is sworn in, they don't pull out the Quran, they pull out the scriptures. At the last couple of funerals, presidential funerals and inaugurations, they've been actually reading out of the Apocrypha. They ain't never read out the Apocrypha. Why is that? We believe because they're watching us. They're not telling the world that we're watching the Israelites, but they're watching us, especially the elites. And they know that they're going down, but they're trying to find a way to upset the prophecies, which they're not going to do. It's like they're saying that they're better than the Most High. And I'm going to get ready to close on this one, unless the Spirit give me more scriptures. It says, Revelation 12, verse 7, And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, which is NATO and the EU. NATO represents the military force. The EU represents the economic part of this beast, which the United States is part of NATO, but not a part of EU. But they have meetings with EU. They deal with all those European nations deal with each other one way or another. So that's that whole beast. And the dragon fought, and his angels represent his military, his fighter jets, his military. And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven, meaning they were wiped out. And that's in Second Ezra. Matter of fact, let me get that. Oh, that's 13. That's that chapter 58 verses long. Anyway, it says here, and it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man, Yahushua, our Lord, waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, meaning the angels. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that was seen under him. And we spoke about Isaiah 24, the earth rocking back and forth like a drunkard. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. So the Lord said he's coming to bring fire to the earth. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number. These are the military from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Remember in Isaiah 47, he shall not meet you as a man. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it. But I would have seen a region or a place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not, because he came in the ship. And I read earlier in Daniel the 7th chapter, the 9th verse, how the Lord's going to be sitting on the throne. Ninth verse, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth his command, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flame of breath. And that's all parabolic. I mean, out of his command, those ships are going to. The Apostle Gabal always talks about a great deal of this destruction is going to come out of the lasers from these ships. And out of his tongue, he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence. What does it say in Revelation 18, verse 21? Thus with violence. And the angel picked up, as it were, a great millstone and cast it into the sea. With violence shall Babylon be destroyed. So it says, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one. Like I said, going back to these Kemetic people and these Islamic types and these Morris types and these Baptists and these Methodists, they watch our videos and get mad at us, but the Most High haven't opened up their eyes to see this, man. When have you gone to recently a Baptist church or a Methodist church spoke about the end of the world, spoke about the mark of the beast, spoke about concentration camps, spoke about our Lord cracking the sky and the clouds and killing Edomites. They don't even know what an Edomite is. So it's obvious that this is not meant for everybody. So why would you bend over backwards and try to make everybody get it? Just push the word out there. The ones that are supposed to get it, which is the elect, they're going to get it. The rest of them are going to be blinded. And the rest were blinded. So that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, because they're going to be turned into dust. They showed you that in the movie, this guy, what is it? War of the Worlds, with the new one, with this guy Tom Cruise. When those ships grew those legs, they would call them the tripods, and those sabers came out from each side, and people started running because they knew they were going to be destroyed, and they were shooting out lasers. And what was happening to the people? They turned into dust, fully dehydrated, disintegrated. There was one scene where this guy, Tom Cruise, had dust all over him. That was formerly a body that was disintegrated. It says, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust. So when they put that movie together, somebody probably read this book, read the Apocrypha. But only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. It said the remnant's going to be affrighted. Afterwards saw I the same man come down from the mountain and call unto him another peaceable multitude. He was gathering the elect. And that's going to be the crowns. He's going to dispense the crowns. He said there was one taller than the rest, and that was our Lord. And he was dispensing crowns to the ones of us that I just read in Revelation 3, let no man take your crown. The crown's going to be given to us by our Lord after the destruction come. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, and the ones of us that did the work to the end, he had endured to the end and was delivered, we're going to be glad. Some were sorry. Those of them, Jake's, ultimately, that goes hand in hand with Daniel the 12th chapter. And some of them were bound. That's slavery. That's slavery. Because when this man goes down, we're going to immediately bind these people up. And they're going right into slavery, because the work got to come to rebuild the world, rebuild the kingdom, or to build the kingdom. Another some brought of them that were offered. That's slavery. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awaked and said, Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy that thou should have received my prayer. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream. And when it was broken down to him, he still didn't understand it, just like Daniel didn't understand it. So Esau, he knows. He knows he's done. He knows he's through. And the Edomite on the right of the screen with the glasses, he basically broke it down. 3 theories. Either the Russians and the Chinese have this advanced technology. Well, what if that's the case? Well, then the Russians and the Chinese can destroy the U.S. forces, if that's the case. If they have technology that can go 15,000 miles an hour, that's a lot of speed, man. And that's generating a lot of power. And that's something only the angels could do. The Lord and the angels. They can defy gravity. They got ships that can disappear, that can appear with the naked eye but be invisible to a radar, that can shrink down to the size of that you can put on top of a pin, that can grow bigger than the earth, That's a power that this devil cannot deal with. And Esau is really afraid. He knows that his time is done, man. And see, our job is to just teach. That's all you got to do is teach, man. Not go to the gun range, you know. Not practice martial arts. Our job is to teach, man. Not have parties. It's not, hey, there yet remaineth a rest for the children of Israel. You partying and having a good time, that means you rested, man. Ain't no time to fucking rest, man. Anyway, I think I said enough, and you know, this subject just came to me based upon this whole thing in the news about this the new way they're going to deal with UFO sightings because they're getting so many of them. This is the curse that go off above the face of the whole earth, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. That's Zechariah 5. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one.